Hello everyone. For those who have not met me, my name is Charlie T. Davis. I would like to welcome all our new teachers to my presentation. Our principal, Dr. N.O. Good, asked me to give on learning to integrate language arts and social studies by using children's books. Because we have some new math and science teachers, I have decided to show you how to plan an interdisciplinary unit that will meet our young adolescents' developmental needs and interests. And this will also be our first 6 weeks project. Now our plan is on the Trans-Siberian Railway. Everyone want to get a copy of the presentation and PowerPoint to print off. From the subject of the Trans-Siberian Railway, I was able to plan an interdisciplinary unit that will meet the needs of our young adolescents' developmental needs and interests. I was able to incorporate history, math, reading and writing, and science. For history, we'll research the history of the Trans-Siberian Railway. For math, measure the distance between cities on the Trans-Siberian Railway. For reading and writing, we'll read a story from the book on the Trans-Siberian Railway and then write a report. And for science, we'll graph the high and low temperatures of the cities along the railway. Now the list of books will include Over the Trans-Siberian Railway by Michael Collier, and this is a picture book that takes a look at the landscapes and observes the results of the forces of wind and weather in shaping the landscapes along the Trans-Siberian Railway. Our other book will be Math Curse by Larry Smith. This is an amusing book about dealing with numbers in everyday life. Our other book is The History of the People of Siberia by John Forsythe. This is an ethic history of the people of Siberia from Russian conquest to the 1980s. And also we're going to have The Revolution. This book is by Alexander Doyle. It's a fiction book on a couple's travels on the Trans-Siberian Railway during the Russian Revolution. Now, our TEKS and learning objectives proposal assessment method for all subject areas will be in your unit plan and on my double T chart. We're going to be doing the TEKS for 6th grade English language arts and reading, math, science, and social studies. You will find on the plan my lesson objectives and the methods which I will use to access. Now, we need to develop 6 questions for each of the 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy for our unit and project and plan. So one of the questions we may use is describe what will happen along the Trans-Siberian Railway throughout history. Can you distinguish between miles and kilometers as you measure the distance between cities on the railway? What questions would you ask of the author of the book on the Trans-Siberian Railway? And how was graphing the high and low temperatures of the city along the Trans-Siberian Railway similar to graphing the same in the United States? And what would happen if you lived back in March 1891 and worked on the Trans-Siberian Railway? And what changes to the story on the Trans-Siberian Railway would you recommend? Now, the learning activities for all the subject areas in the unit plan will include making a timeline of the Trans-Siberian Railway, write a summary report on the Trans-Siberian Railway, construct a model to demonstrate your graph of the high and low temperatures of the cities along the Trans-Siberian Railway, and devise a way to demonstrate your measurements of the distances between the cities along the Trans-Siberian Railway. Now, you will find a copy of my lesson plan enclosed with the material. Now, time's not going to permit me to read my whole lesson plan, but this lesson plan will meet the needs of our students. As their teacher, you will be able to analyze our students' contents, identify major concepts, and important details they are learning. Now, some of the list of materials, I passed those out to you that you're going to need for this. The teachers, of course, are going to need your textbooks, graph paper, computer, and overhead. The students are going to need textbook, graph paper, computer, trade books, art supplies, pencil, an English to Russian dictionary, toothpicks, paper mache, paint, cardboard, a diary, and ruler and paper. Now, the cross-curricular activity to our unit and project on the Trans-Siberian Railway will include some simple activities to help the students build a greater understanding of the railway. Now, language, we need to learn a few words of Russian, maybe ask a Russian speaker to visit the class, use a translation site, or visit the library and find an English to Russian dictionary. Art, make a model of the Trans-Siberian Railway using toothpicks, paper mache, paint, and cardboard. History, we're going to make a timeline showing the development of the railway and its influence on Russian development. Culture, we're going to learn about the Russian culture, find about dress, food, clothing, and politics. We're going to make a PowerPoint, poster, and display this and give a presentation about an aspect of Russian lifestyle. Geography, do a research project on the geography of Russia and how the railway helped modernize and shape the massive and varied landscape. And one other thing we're going to do is values of personal reflection. We'll have the students write in a diary and in their entry sequence think of themselves maybe as a convict working on the railway in the late 1800s. How do you feel? What do you see and hear around you? What do you think about your lot in life? What are your hopes and dreams for the future? I honestly believe that you as new teachers will enjoy teaching this lesson, and doing this interdisciplinary unit project will help meet our young adolescents' developmental needs and interests. Thank you for your time and attention.